What's going on, y'all? This is Isaiah Fowler, the founder of SWAV Eyewear and SWAV Agency. And this is the Starts with a Vision podcast, Reloaded, baby. And I'm excited today, man. We got a really good episode. I feel like every episode, honestly, is really good because we are focusing on the things that surround this topic and conversation of direct to consumer. Direct to consumer is the best business model on the planet. And it's really a mindset, right? If you have a product-based business, going direct to consumer will change and revolutionize your business. Literally, it will change and revolutionize your business. It keeps your leverage. You're gonna long-term have more equity, and you're also going to put yourself in a position where you can have a higher valuation of your company, depending on how far you end up taking your brand. So today, I want to talk about a mindset, a way of thinking, right? Trends versus principles. Trends versus principles. It's very important that you, as a product-based business owner who's focusing on direct to consumer, is focused on principles rather than trends, right? And that's what we're going to dive into today. So this is kind of like a short-term versus a long-term mindset and philosophy. A lot of people are building their business based on trends, but they lack principles, right? If you are, no matter what your revenue is, this will apply to you. Everything on this channel, this podcast, will apply to you no matter what your revenue is, because we operate off principles, right? So a trend is a short-term thing. A trend has a lifespan, but a principle is timeless. So in my mind, I'm like, I didn't see people operating businesses off of principles in the modern day. Everybody's marketing the microwave stuff. They're marketing trends, right? But I'm like, I want to put out content that markets principles, right? Because at the end of the day, it's all about sustainability. You feel what I'm saying? So I look at, growing your brand as this journey. It's a journey that you are opting to go on to, right? You've accepted the mission of what this journey is about. And you're saying, hey, I'm willing to go on this journey, right? On this journey, you're going to be tested. You're going to be challenged in a lot of different ways. And the decisions you make will dictate and determine what outcome you get. So if you make if you make decisions based on trends, you'll get one place. If you make decisions based on principles, you'll get to another place, right? So let's think about it from a marketing perspective. We're in a time where everybody's Facebook ads, funnels, Instagram, all this stuff. That's more of a trendy mindset, right? Reels, Instagram, TikTok, right? And a lot of people, I see it in Facebook groups all the time, they be kind of confused. What do I do? And so what you do is you operate off principles. Don't worry about the trends. I'm not saying don't benefit from them, but the amount of energy mentally that you should be putting towards trends versus principles, you should be putting way more of your mental energy towards the principles, right? So if you operate off principles, your that's basically you actually being a CEO. If you operate off trends, that's basically you operating as an employee of your business. When you operate off trends, you're more focused on the long-term vision of your company. When you operate off principles, you're more so focused on the long-term vision of your company. When you're focused on trends, you're just worried about today or this week. I hope that makes sense. So as you're growing your company, I want to challenge you to start thinking about the long-term things. Number one, what's the vision? Literally, right? I remember I was in this incubator and we had to create a mission statement, a purpose statement, and a vision statement, right? I'm like, yo, what? Why do I have to create all three? But every business has a mission. Every business has a purpose for why it's here. And every business should have a vision for what they see their business playing, in the market. But most people don't have those things. And so I was mind blown when I had to create those. And it was really challenging because I never thought about that. I just wanted to sell a product and that was it, right? But that incubator that I was in, it was very, very, very important to the long-term success of my business, right? So a trendy person will sit here and say, I want to make 100,000 my first year. That's it. A person that operates off principles will say, if we do 40K our first year, that's fine. We'll 2X the next year. And then that will set us up for a really strong year 3, right? That's the difference. See, a lot of people have been fed the overnight success story. But what they don't realize is that overnight success story, it literally took 8 to 10 years. Think about it. People are trying to be overnight successes, but they don't want to go through the nighttime. And that nighttime being a lot of years. But because most people are just marketing the short term or the result that they got. And so somebody that's in year 1 just thinks that they're going to get year 8 results when their business hasn't been properly structured for that. So I really want, you guys to really, really, really sit here and understand that it's really a long-term thing. If you expect for your business to, number one, boom immediately, and then sustain that boom, and then grow, and it's just going to be easy, you definitely got bamboozled, right? You got bamboozled. So it's very important to understand this is a long-term thing. If you do 50K your first year and you 2.5x the next year, that is perfectly fine. Because what you're really starting to do is you're basically building out your garden, right? You're building out your garden. And a good friend of mine, we always talk about this all the time. He used to have a landscape company. He's really big into, farming and stuff like that. And so it's about having a garden that you could plant seeds in. These are principles, right? So I want you to look at your business as one asset, and every year you're planting as much seeds in this asset or in this, this garden as possible. And every year, a few more of those seeds are going to blossom. This is how you want to think about your business. So what are the seeds? Investing money for inventory, a team, content, right? Building your email list, building your SMS list, building relationships, getting your costs down, right? These are all principles that you can operate on that have nothing to do with the trends. Because a trend, think about what's trendy. Think about like back in the day, Rockaware, Inyiche, or it's really NYC, G-Unit. These were all trends. They were trendy for a period of time. A trend will always run out. So as a business owner who's supposed to be futuristic, you cannot be operating off of a finite trend. So that means if you see something that goes on in the world, you don't always have to hop on and be like, ooh, I got to take advantage of this. No, you don't always have to take advantage of that. Sometimes you can let it pass, because if that's not in alignment with your actual brand and the core of your brand and what the brand even stands for, then sometimes you're shooting your own self in the foot, right? Don't be so quick to hop on the bandwagon of what's going on in the world, the bandwagon of the hottest social media trend, whatever is hot right now. You don't have to just hop on that, because that shows that you're not a leader, right? I'm not saying don't use it for, to grow your business, but sometimes if you're operating off of principles, those things aren't even going to matter, because the principles that you're operating off of are going to create such a strong foundation for your business. You're not going to have to play the game of being trendy. And you got to ask yourself, do you want a trendy business, or do you want a business that is sustainable? Trendy ain't sustainable, and sustainable ain't trendy. I know that for a fact, because a lot of people that were operating their business as trends are now either out of business or they're struggling. Being a sustainable company is very boring, and you're not going to get an award for it. A lot of people want awards for having a successful business. Your award for having a successful business is your life, is your success, is the company that you've built. You have to be okay with not getting any awards. Don't start a business because you see Forbes 30 under 30 and you want that award. You're doing it for the wrong reasons, right? Do it because you see a problem in the market and you want to solve that problem and serve a group of people within that market, and we call that market share. And then have a vision and a plan on how you're going to get more market share over time. It's really that simple. But you don't want to get into the habit of being trendy, because every time something happens, that is what's controlling you rather than you setting the tone, right? A real brand does not follow trends. A real brand is timeless. Point blank, period. Nike, right now, what's coming back? Air Force Ones. How long were Air Force Ones a thing? And then how long were they not a thing? But Nike is such a timeless brand. They say, we're going to bring them back. We're going to bring them back. So they're operating, they understand what the trends are, but they also understand that history repeats itself. So that's like baked into their brand. But a lot of people are growing their business. They have no brand identity, right? They're doing everything that the internet is saying you should do. And that's not how you really build a reputation for being known for something. At the end of the day, you want to be known for something if you have a brand, right? So if you have, like for me, SWAV Eyewear, we are the world's first inspirational eyewear company. I want the world to know that we pioneered inspiration in the eyewear company. That's our thing, right? SWAV Eyewear is the world's first inspirational eyewear company. That's the principles that we're operating off of. So certain things just don't matter because that's not who we are. right? I remember it's a song by Black, 6 Lack. And he was talking about how he was having problems with the label. And he was like, I understand y'all got y'all formula, y'all got y'all vision, but that shit don't work for me. He was like, because if I do this and then it pop, I'm gonna have to keep doing it. And you become a fucking song. So do you want your business to become something because you were chasing the algorithm? Or do you actually want to build a brand that people conform to and fuck with? That's what you really got to ask yourself. This is not about following the crowd. This is not about looking around what's going on in the world and doing that. No, it's not about that. It's about setting the stage and having the world come follow what you got going on. But you got to be comfortable within yourself to be able to do that and stand on that for years. Because you're not going to really see no like compounded effects in 12 months. It's going to take some years for this to really catch on. And you got to be okay with that. So you ask yourself, are you okay with these things? Don't be that business owner that's chasing the algorithm. Just don't do it. Chasing the algorithm is whatever. Build something that people gonna resonate with. That way you don't have to chase the algorithm. And that's what I mean when I say operate on principles, not trends. You can use a trend to, take advantage of it, but don't allow the trends to be the foundation and the pillars of your company, because you're gonna lose every time, right? So that's what I wanted to talk about. That was the 37th episode right here. If you rocking with this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the audio podcast. Every Monday and Wednesday, we got some heat coming for you in regards to direct to consumer, because that's what I love talking about. That's my thing. That's my deal. I want to help y'all get more money, get more equity, get more leverage, right? And have a higher valuation. So I appreciate y'all time. Thank you for considering us. This is the Starts With a Vision podcast. Always remember, everything you do in life starts with a vision. Peace.